It's the holiday season. It's the most holly and jolly time of the year where you get to see all sorts of advertisements everywhere you look. Reminds me of the girl in the flashy suit who keeps showing up outside my home. I'm not sure if I should be alarmed or charmed. The holiday times are prime advertising times. Everyone is rushing to stores to buy each other presents. They'll just end up playing back so that they can spend that money on my Patreon page on other things. So it's just the right time to advertise what you want them to be buying. Now, what if we took a different approach to this? What if we advertised our products in the form of something like, let's say, video games, brand games, games made to promote brands that are kind of an interesting sight to see. You don't see them a whole lot, but when you do, they're kind of charming. Pepsi Invaders, otherwise known as Coke Wins or Coke Invaders, was a game that was only distributed to certain salespeople for Coke, and there are currently only 125 copies that exist. I say currently as if there is more, but there's 125 copies that were ever distributed, and it is one of the rarest Atari games ever made. It was released in 1983 on the Atari 2600, and it is just a reskin of Space Invaders, but the aliens were turned into the word Pepsi, and there's a big thing on the top of the screen that says Coke Wins, and that's all that the gameplay has to offer. It really isn't that much of like a remarkable game. It's just kind of funny that it exists at all. But other than that, there's not really much else to say about it, other than Atari goes better with a Coke, I guess. Chex Quest is another game which you've probably heard of. It's one of more well-known Doom clones, and it's surprisingly good actually. There were 2 Chex Quests released that came in like Chex cereal boxes, and eventually one of the developers who worked on the original Chex Quest made a Chex Quest 3 as an unofficial project. And in 2020, Chex Quest HD was released on PC, which was later released on Nintendo Switch, but the Nintendo Switch version actually costed money. The PC version was free. I've yet to play Chex Quest HD for very long, but from what I have played, it is pretty fun. Chex Quest 3 was one that I played a lot more, and they're just fun games. If you have the time to play them, you should. Out of like most of the games that I'm going to be talking about in this video, I think Chex Quest is probably on the higher tier of them. Smarties Meltdown is a game released in 2006 on the PlayStation 2, and you play as a Smartie. Not the little ones that kids would crush up in like elementary school and pretend they were cocaine, but the ones that are like actually edible. As I said before, you play as a Smartie, this little blue circle. It doesn't really, you can't really tell that it's a Smartie. It's just this circle with arms and legs that are detached from him, and he has a backpack. Oh, you collect Smarties too. I didn't even play this game. I'm just commentating over this gameplay that I'm watching, and you like roll around and shit, and you beat up these guys who look like whatever his name was from The Nightmare Before Christmas. That one dude was like a sack. Oh yeah, that's a Smarties Meltdown, alright. Yo-Noid was a game released in 1990 on the NES, coinciding with the Domino's Noid promotion that was going on during the time. The Noid was this little goofy motherfucker. He was known for his chaotic and just absolutely horrendous acts. He was a real doodler, and he was just awful. He was just really, it was a tragedy. There's too many tragedies associated with his name. 9/11 was actually done by him. Shortly before the events of it, $2.3 trillion just magically appeared in his bank account and nobody knows why. But also, $2.3 trillion disappeared from the White House suddenly shortly before 9/11. Is it a coincidence? I don't really think so. But anyways, on to the NES game. No, yeah, the game just sucks. Like, I couldn't write anything for the script, like, to put this game in a positive light. This game it just fucking sucks. Pepsiman was such a strange ad campaign to me, but I love it so much. And the game is just like the icing on the cake. Even though it really is just a game where you run around and run away from things and collect Pepsi. Hell, I could make an entire video about this game if I really wanted to. If I really sold out. God damn it. So yeah, Pepsiman, you run around, you run away from things, you collect Pepsi, and that's pretty much the whole goal of the game. It's fun, mindless fun if you're really bored and you just don't have anything to do. So it really is just a funny little game that they released for the whole Pepsiman promotion that was going on. Other than that, it's pretty unremarkable. There's not really much else to say about it. Every now and then I tend to think to myself, what's the 19th most best-selling game on the Xbox 360? And then I look and it's a fucking Burger King game. Yeah, Sneak King was released in 2006 and would have been sold in value meals at Burger King. And this game just would have been something that came with it. And this game's just like really easy to find online for like $3 usually. Like on average I looked and there is just so many of this game ranging from like $2 to $10. It's not really a hard game to find anymore because they just gave out so many copies of this game, I guess. And that's why it is, in fact, the 19th best-selling game of all time on Xbox 360. You can look that up yourself, and you will see. It's the 19th best-selling game on Xbox 360. But pretty much the whole plot, or the whole goal of the game is to sneak into people's houses as the Burger King, and you deliver them delicious Burger King food. And you also get arrested for breaking and entering. The second Burger King game we have to talk about today is Big Bumpin', a game where you play bumper cars. But the Burger King guy is there. There he is. There he is. He's right there. That's him. That's him. Truly joyous, momentous day when I get to play fucking bumper cars with the Burger King guy. I am running out of things to say about these games. I just want this to get over with. Pocketbike Racer is another game by Burger King, and if you just took a glance at it at first look, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that. It's kind of an odd choice for a Burger King game. But I guess there is also Sneak King where you break into people's houses, which is debatable whether that one is weirder or not, but it's just an odd choice to me. That game is also very easy to find and very cheap online. So if you're ever looking for more Burger King games, you have 3 in total. But yeah, this game is just a racing game on bikes. With Burger King branding, kind of Burger King, because the only real part of the branding is the actual Burger King mascot himself. It's kind of an unremarkable racing game. If you really want a good racing game, just like play anything else. Play like Forza or something, I don't know. Brain games aren't limited to just in the United States and Japan or like the UK. They're an interesting niche from all over the world. Take Italy, for example. It's easy to think of Italy as nothing more than spaghetti and parmesan, but a quick look at their history reveals they invented fascism and Donald Duck going quackers. Oh, and you can't forget Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game. I love my kidney stones so much I decided to make a video about a game sponsored by what gave me those kidney stones to begin with. There's actually quite a few entries in this series, but I'm just going to stick with talking about the original, which was released on Xbox One. A fun little fact about this game is that while I was researching this video, I decided to look through my Xbox One games, and then I realized that we already had a copy of this game physically, so I didn't even have to go and emulate it or buy a new copy or anything. I don't know how many years that game was sitting on the shelf for, but I finally decided to pick it up for once. Here's me editing this. I forgot to save the initial recording for this part where I actually talked about the game. So here is me talking about it again, unscripted, because I never wrote a script for this. The game is fine. It's not great. It's just like your average racing game, only it controls horribly and it isn't really that fun. In case you forget what game you're playing, the Monster Energy logo pops up at literally every single little ramp and sign and billboard. It's just all over the place. If you're looking for a good bike racing game or motorbike racing game or whatever, I mean, I guess if you like games that control really poorly, but at that point, just play like Mario Kart Wii or something. You know, maybe the real brand games was the friends we made along the way. Wait, did you die like 2 videos ago? What, I can't be dead and have a little bit of holiday spirit? Okay, I get it. Just because of that, I'm not giving you this awesome present I was gonna give you. At least tell me what it was. Pets Crazy Monkeys on the Wii. But I already have 2 copies of that game. The German version. God damn it! And for some quick honorable mentions, I will be mentioning things that aren't really brand games, but have a lot of brands in them, so I will still mention them anyways, because I think it's funny. Yakuza is a big game that has a lot of brands in it. This is my obligatory time to mention Yakuza. Oh, and don't worry, this is not going to be the first time I mention Yakuza in a video that's completely unrelated to Yakuza, but KaraokeCon is a place you can go to in some of the Yakuza games, and you sing karaoke there. KaraokeCon is a real chain of places in Japan where you can just go and sing karaoke. And funnily enough, you can actually go and sing certain songs from the Yakuza series at the KaraokeCon places. It's a cool little thing that I've actually never really heard people talk about. There's also some Yakuza games have Mountain Dew in it, and some just don't. It's like Mountain Dew just erased from the timeline, because the only games that I remember it being in are Yakuza 0 and Like a Dragon Gaiden. So there's just like this multiple decade long period where Mountain Dew just fades from existence and then comes back along with Pepsi's also in Like a Dragon Gaiden. It's just kind of like a funny little thing. But anyways, I know I said honorable mentions, but I can't think of anything else. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for hearing me ramble on about Yakuza in a video that had nothing to do with Yakuza. But since I'm autistic over Yakuza right now, I'm going to talk about it as much as I possibly can and try to fit it into things. So get ready for that. Also, I know there's a lot of games that I missed, a lot of games that you probably can think of off the top of your head that I missed. And if this video gets enough suggestions for more to talk about, then I will make a Brand Games 2 where I talk about even more brand games, because there is a lot of brand games. But this is just a quick thing I wanted to make. This video was kind of rushed. I will try to get back into things soon. Eventually. I have another game that I've been working on at the same time of this video, so I just kind of like going back and forth through the two, which is not a good idea. It's just very stressful. Hopefully I'm gonna get things under control soon, so Next month we'll have a video, probably. It might be as short as this one, but expect something at least. I'm gonna start posting on the second channel too, and I might start streaming every now and then too. So yeah, we're getting things under control, and yeah, that's all I really have to say.